Hi, welcome back to Law Unfiltered. Now, today we are going to talk about one issue only, okay? If you are born here and you are raised here, are you naturally a Malaysian citizen? Now, of course, nobody will go and simply ask questions like this, but it is interesting and one day you might need the answer. You never know. And, okay, anyways, but today I'm here together with special guest, Larissa Ann.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me, Celine.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, introduce myself. Okay. I'm Larissa. I'm a partner in Ajri Switzing & Co.
Yeah.
And part of the work that I do is on citizenship and statelessness, a lot of the cases that we do. So I'm very excited to empower actually people on this issue.
Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Right. Now, it is a bit of a question, right? That if you're born here and by parents who are Malaysians, then you're automatically Malaysian. This is what is provided under the Federal Constitution, which incorporates two elements, which is by blood and by land. Which is why I say, if you are born here in Malaysia and your parents are Malaysian, then naturally you are Malaysian by law itself. But what if one of the parent who is a Malaysian has a child but out of Malaysia? So the question is, will then this child be a Malaysian or not? Or what if the child was born out of wedlock, but one of the parent is a Malaysian? What happens then? Is this child also Malaysian? Because one of the parent is a foreigner. Or another example would be abandoned babies. What if you find abandoned babies in public places? You know, these are quite common things, right? You don't know who are the parents. So is this child a Malaysian? So these are the situations where the question, who gets to be a Malaysian, arises. Now, let us talk about the first scenario, okay? Abandoned babies. Okay. You'll be surprised to find that the Federal Constitution actually already prepared for this kind of situations. Because of the rising numbers of abandoned babies, Federal Constitution is prepared to presume that the baby is a Malaysian, but there are obviously elements that you have to satisfy. For example, the most crucial element is that the baby was found abandoned in public places, which would have been a place of birth. I think most commonly is public hospital, public toilets. Sometimes you even find it in like rubbish, trash area. So the government would have presumed that they are Malaysian, given birth by a Malaysian mother. But if somebody come and challenge this presumption, then they will need to come to court, give evidence, then only you can disprove that this baby is not Malaysian. So actually it's not very hard actually. But then, right, there are situations like, for example, adopted babies claim to be abandoned by their mother, but was not found at the place of birth because the child was already abandoned. Then somebody come and pick it up. And then after that, put it up for adoption, give to the parents for adoption. Obviously, the parents would not have found the baby at the abandoned place, right? It would be the third party who has found the baby at the abandoned place and then put it up for adoption. Now, in this sort of situation, what do we do?
Okay. That's a very broad question. I just want to correct one point. So basically, the presumption is not that the mother is a Malaysian citizen, but the mother is a permanent resident of Malaysia.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the assumption. So automatically will be a Malaysian because Section 1A says either one parent is a Malaysian or PR. But there's also another part there because the PR provision now has been removed. Yeah, so we'll get there. So let me just give you or paint a picture of a typical situation of a client, okay? So that I think the audience can appreciate as well.
Chop.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows, Larissa does a lot of citizenship cases. I think you've seen so many different kind of most common scenarios, right?
Yeah, correct. So this is a very common scenario. So basically, a couple would have gotten a baby from a middle person.
Yeah.
who does not, according to them, they don't know the biological or the heritage of this child, there would have been some form of money exchange with this middle person. Some there were none, right? So what happens is they will get the baby together with a birth certificate, fraudulently, stating this new parent's name. So the whole scenario is technically an adoption, right? Yeah. But not through the court process. But they have taken the baby as if they are own. Okay? So now they have a new baby from a middle person, paid or not paid, with their names on the birth cert. Okay.
Are they from adoption centers?
Okay,
or?
No. So they are just random, like your auntie from the Pasar Malam said, hey, I know a family who has a baby. Or they don't want a baby. I know that there is a baby someone wants to give away.
But there's money exchange.
Yes, most of the time.
Can I?
It's baby trafficking.
That's like human trafficking already.
So you already got the point. So you went 5 steps ahead, but hang on. Yeah. So now this person has this child, right? 12 years old, you need to make IC.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 scenarios happen. They don't get the IC, number 1, because the place of birth has been blacklisted by JPN, stating like, this clinic has a syndicate going on, they are selling babies. So they will rampas. They will take away the citizenship. First scenario. Second scenario, example, the baby looks exactly like you. Okay, you're a Chinese, you have adopted a child that looks Chinese or Indian or whatever, right? So there won't be any issue. 12 years old, you might get away with it. But most of the time, these babies are mixed. So the child most of the time doesn't look like the parent. So JPN already will flag that case during the IC time. So then they tarik balik lah. So now, these parents who are not the original parents are left with a stateless child. Because they will take away the citizenship.
Okay.
Okay? So what happens is they then need to officially adopt the child. So they go through the court process.
Yeah.
So what happens when they take away that citizenship, they'll give a new birth cert, the second birth cert. So first is fraud. Second one with no names of parents.
Okay. Again.
After the adoption, they will get their name back on the papers. But properly lah, with an adoption order. Now the problem you will find here is when they get the third birth cert, it's still stateless. Why? They cannot find the biological parents.
But again, question.
Okay.
I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, that once the child is adopted, then
as if came out of you.
Yeah, as if like the parents are the biological parents. That's what
the Adoption Act says.
Yes.
But we have a case in the federal court that says the Adoption Act is retrospective. You cannot rely on it. Yeah, so that's where our problem lies now in court. So, go back to the story, okay? So now they have a child who's stateless, with no biological parents, right? So during the adoption process, I don't know if you're familiar, one thing that you would do is the dispensation of the biological parents because you cannot find them. So one of the things that you also need to do is put a advertisement on the newspaper to ask like, there's this child born here, anyone who has accounted for this child, please come forward lah.
Okay.
But so all of that would have been done during the adoption process. The court would have agreed, okay, memang cannot find the parent. And during this process, when they give you that second birth cert, JPN would have done their investigation and also agree you cannot find the parent.
Then why do I need to still put it out on the newspaper?
So we go to court. Now the court process, like what you mentioned just now, use soli and use sanguinis, soil and blood. Okay.
Correct.
So we used to argue for for blood, your argument, which is the Adoption Act, as if came out from you. So blood.
Yeah.
But because of the case of CTEV, that argument falls flat. Because you cannot retrospect. That means at the time of birth, this child was not a Malaysian. You cannot, because of adoption, confer your citizenship. You can confer everything else but citizenship. Yeah.
So what is the point of
adopting? Cool point. Something you want to take up?
because right, citizenship is very important. That is why everybody should have a citizenship, right? Because it gives you rights to voting, education, healthcare.
Oh yeah, 100%. So now we have this problem, right?
Yeah.
So okay, fine. Blood. The one way of blood through adoption, you cannot argue.
Yeah.
The other way is 19B, right?
Uh-huh.
In the case of CCH, the one that you've mentioned previously that came up with this, with the current status of the law, CCH, the judges in CCH told the councils we should read it with 19B. It was never part of the council's argument. The court is the one who said we are at liberty to actually see the interpretation. We are taking 19B in because it's an abandonment issue.
Yeah.
In CCH, the case, the child was born in a hospital. So there was some form of abandonment, right?
Okay.
Found exposed and all of that. So that's why the tie was very good. But cases coming after that, what has happened is the word found exposed has been interpreted literally. So only if a child is found in a bomba, in a toilet, in a hospital, then only you are considered abandoned. And then only the presumption kicks in.
So doesn't it make 19B very redundant then?
So when there is this common scenario of a middle person and the agent, they will never fall as exposed.
Yeah, it's definitely not exposed really.
Because the judge would say, in a case that I did, is human trafficking. Because money was involved.
Yeah.
So they will fail that argument. So section 1A, they fail.
Yeah.
As of now, we are trying to change the law for interpretation of 19B.
It's supposed to
be identity of the mother unknown. That's all.
Oh.
That's all. Just that it's unknown. Then the presumption will kick in. Because if you read the CCH case, there is one part that it says the broadest interpretation of it is that the identity of the mother is unknown. And that's what we're trying to change currently because it's a federal court case. So the other option they have is on E. Section 1E, which is the fact that they were born here. Very blessed if some of them, when they get the new birth cert, the place of birth remains. That means that they were born in Malaysia But some they were also tarik balik that, so you don't even know where they were born.
They were found in Malaysia, right? Where else are they found in?
They will need a proof. So that's the problem. But
are you saying that I brought the child from another country and bring it here?
So we got soil, right? So most of the time they still have the place of birth But the problem is, the problem in court now, they have interpreted E as blood as well. So you need blood and soil. But we argue that E is only soil. So actually all of these people who fall in the cracks of A because of the mother or father identity blood issue, they can fall in E. Because the fact that they were born here, within 1 year of their birth, they have not registered any other country.
So that means naturally they can be a Malaysian.
Yes, because when we went into the Hansard, we saw that section 1E was written to prevent statelessness specifically.
Why do you think that the federal court was so adamant to read the law in this way? Was there a reason behind?
So E is still being argued.
Yeah, but the thing is that, in these two cases, that you mentioned just now, obviously the court does not seem to want to simply give a child citizenship.
I think the issue of, even when we went through the lobbying of the amendments to the federal constitution, the main issue was floodgates. Because,
that everyone will be Malaysian.
Citizenship is a privilege and cannot be given lightly. That's the main issue. Yeah. So that's the problem that we have in court now. So interpretation, what's going on in the federal court of appeal now is the interpretation of 1E. Does it include blood or is it just soil? And so that's back and forth.
But if we read just 1E itself, right, it would only have soil, right?
Because the word parent is not in 1E, it's silent.
Yeah.
So there are case laws for it and against it. So that's why it's very factual, case by case basis and all of that. So that's the struggle that we are facing now. Yeah. That's on the abandonment issue. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we even covered the adoption part already.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, I used to think that if once the child is adopted, then the child will,
right? Because that's how you make the life easier. Why would I want to adopt a child that's not my citizenship?
Yeah.
You make my life so easy.
But what would happen to the child if the child is denied citizenship? They will be marked as what? Permanent residents?
No. Bukan warga negara.
So warga negara mana?
Nothing. They're stateless basically. That's the definition of stateless. You are not You have no documents or recognition in any country in the world.
So that means after that, at some point, I will have to file an application to be a permanent resident then, correct?
No, you can't be a PR.
Cannot also.
Because a PR means you are a citizen of a country and you are asking for permanent
Change.
residence in a country. So in Malaysia, there are rules to that lah. After certain years, then you can apply.
But then if I am considered
You need a
as...
permit masuk from another country.
So then I cannot do
You can never
anything
be
already.
PR. So Malaysia has a MyCast, it's a green IC for those who are in between citizenship applications. But that is just for a recognition lah, that they have a name and all that.
But it doesn't solve anything, right?
No.
Okay, now let's go to the next scenario. When a child is born out of wedlock, and what if the father is a Malaysian and the mother is a non-Malaysian, or vice versa? Okay, so the law is like this, okay? If the child is born illegitimate, and if the mom is a non-Malaysian, I mean, regardless, it will always follow the mother. That is according to the law. So that is why there is always a saying that if you want to have a child, you need to give birth. You need to get married first. You need to get married and then only have a child.
Yeah.
Because obviously the court is only going to enforce something that is lawful, right? So let's talk more about that.
Yeah. So interesting fact is Malaysia is the only country in the world that does not confer citizenship to illegitimate children. The one who recently lifted it, which was the second last country in the world, was Barbados.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Section 17 in the Constitution basically states if a child is born illegitimate, you would follow the mother's citizenship. The problem is the operation of law that confers citizenship defines the word parent through case law as lawful parent, meaning they have to be married.
Yeah.
So if they are not married, they would refer to Section 17 as an interpretive section as the mother lah. And most of the time, the cases is a Malaysian father,
but married
not married.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
to
not
a
married.
Foreign woman, and most of the time the woman has ran away.
Yeah.
So the child is left with the Malaysian father. And the case of CTEB was the test case for this. The minority judgment in that case is the dream judgment for Malaysia.
Okay.
But obviously the majority is the current law, which states that you cannot confer citizenship if you're outside of marriage.
Yeah.
You ignore the paternity. It doesn't matter. The father doesn't matter. Yeah. Literally. So we do argue on equality on the issue as well. Because men are discriminated, what?
Yeah, that's true.
Because they have a right, the blood, they were born
Yes, exactly.
here,
it's by blood.
but just because
it was illegitimate.
So they ignore.
I remember they said that there was something that they said about this is that you cannot use the Legitimacy Act to legitimize something
so again,
that is
retrospective lah.
Yeah.
At the time of birth.
It was already illegitimate. You cannot use something to correct that part.
Correct.
Yeah. I remember that there was a case that you did quite a while ago in Penang. I'm not sure if I may recall this wrongly, but there was this 3 kids was also born foreign mother, Philippines, I think, in Penang one.
Yes.
So I cannot remember if that case was it also that they were stateless?
Yes. So normally the clients come to us because they don't have citizenship lah. So what happens is at their birth certificate, actually if a child is illegitimate in our Birth and Registration Act, the father's name cannot be on the birth cert. But the father can be the informant, but with the approval or the consent of the mother, then the father's name can be part of as father lah.
So am I right to say that you can only adopt back the child then? Even though they are your own children, now you have to go through the adoption process to adopt them back.
That was one way what people were doing. They were adopting their own children.
Then the father's name can be there lah.
Yes. So that is a very big issue. Why we're trying to change what is going on in the courts in terms of interpretation is the word parent. We interpret it as biological, that's all.
Yeah.
But the current law interprets it as lawful.
Because that's exactly what were the words used in there itself.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's just the word parent. They said parent. Any one parent. Or
oh,
A and E doesn't use father or mother. One of the parent.
The lawful word is there.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not there.
No, it's not.
But then if you use the purposive...
They interpret it as lawful because of Section 17. Because they say Section 17 will not have been there to differentiate illegitimacy if the word parent was as biological.
Oh.
But our argument is Section 17 comes in when the identity of the father is unknown. Then the next layer is mother. You cannot just ignore the father because Section 17 says according to Section 19. So you have to also read 19. So the minority judgment in CTEB explains a scenario where Section 17 kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
Section 17 doesn't just kick in just because the child is illegitimate. It kicks in when the identity of the father is unknown. Then your next layer, because you want to prevent statelessness.
Yeah.
So you want to protect the child is their best interest. Then the next layer is 17. Yeah. That's the argument that is going on, like the interpretation of 17 and how you apply it.
So if you want to prevent something like that from happening, just get married first.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're both Malaysian...
it can be avoided. All of this can be avoided.
Yeah, it can be avoided, definitely.
Even the adoption one, so it can be avoided if you do it right, Yeah.
I don't understand why some people, when you're already expecting, just get married, guys.
I personally think the adoption thing, why people do the way that it's done, because the current process of adopting a child is very slow.
Oh.
The JKM process and also you cannot get a child very quickly. You need to go through like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why years?
Because it's just like that. The processing, it's slow. So it's faster when someone knows, hey, I know someone is looking to give away a baby,
That is promoting, I don't want to say that it's promoting, but it is encouraging people to buy from other places.
Another good way to do it is when you know someone is pregnant and doesn't want the baby, then you agree to adopt and the mother consents to it. Then the baby and the mother is Malaysian. The kid will be Malaysian. You adopt a Malaysian.
Okay. There is a problem with the federal constitution that people have been arguing, like Larissa here. Gender discrimination. If a Malaysian father and a foreigner married, okay, this is now married situation, married but gave birth to the child outside of Malaysia. Because the father is Malaysian, so the child will automatically be Malaysian. But if turn the other way around, right? If the mother is Malaysian instead of the father and wedded and gave birth to the child outside of Malaysia, then the child is not automatically Malaysian. So now there is gender discrimination already. Why is the mother not given the same rights as the father? I mean, they are both biological parent, right? Why is there such a difference here? Because if the mother is a Malaysian and wants to have the child as a Malaysian, she will have to apply to the court, which is the...
No, she has to register, go through the JPN process.
Oh, go through a JPN process.
Not automatic.
But what about
the male?
Yeah.
It will be automatic.
Yeah.
Because now we go to section 1B.
Yeah.
Which is those who are born outside the federation.
Correct.
There, for 1B, it doesn't say parent. It says father. That's the problem.
But father is, in most general situations, is interpreted to include mother as well, right?
So, good question. So, because the word there is father.
Yeah.
So, the one for the mothers is under Article 15. They need to apply and get approval. So, it's not operation of law, okay? So, what happened in the Syrian Kempi case? They did file a case on this issue saying it's discriminatory. So, the High Court did say you can interpret the word father as mother. Okay. Right? You can take it as two. But the Court of Appeal reversed that decision to say like you can't. There was purpose and intention why they put father there. And the right way to change this if you're unhappy with the gender issue is the parliament. It's not the court. You cannot make the court extend its interpretation hand when the issue is the legislative arm. So that's why from there, the whole lobbying case went about. So knocking on the doors, creating all of this. And I think that was a very successful lobbying of amending our constitution. Because to amend a constitution, you need 2/3 majority. You cannot just amend, So that was a very successful, strategic litigation and lobbying to change of law, policy making and whatnot. Because of that has changed lah. But those amendments came with further restrictions. So you thought like, wow, they're amending something, but they took away some things. Like I mentioned just now, PR. The PR person is already taken away, so you cannot. 15A to apply, like I mentioned just now, used to be below 21. Now they have changed it to below 18. So 3 years is gone from there.
Oh, so
So special circumstances if you're below 18.
Oh.
And it's not retrospective. Even the amendments to Surin Kempi case on the interpretation, right? You cannot retrospect. So, them who filed this case and the win that they got through the lobbying doesn't affect them. Because all their kids were born pre-amendment.
But I try to look around. The amendment is still not imposed yet, right?
So they did say June onwards. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sabah Sarawak already has started that, but our side has not as of now,
I think the citizenship is getting stricter and stricter. They really don't want to simply just give. Is it because that there is a lot of foreigners in Malaysia right now and they're trying to curb that?
Yes and no. So there is a big misconception on who a stateless person is. So they confuse it with a refugee, right? A refugee is someone who has fled their country. So let's say a Myanmar person, they are a Myanmar national or Indonesian or whatever. They fled their country to come for refuge because they are persecuted.
Yeah.
So they are not stateless,
Yeah. And they have a state,
another issue that people confuse them is the migrant workers. These migrant workers, let's say from Indonesia or Bangladesh, they are a national of that country. They have come here to seek a job.
Just by visa only.
Yeah, but if their visa expired, they are still a citizen.
In their home country.
Yeah, they are memang a citizen. That doesn't affect them. Refugee. So if they come here, they haven't got the refugee status. They're asylum seekers. They're still a citizen of a country. But stateless people are not citizens for any other country. They are born here.
But they cannot be a citizen.
Blood here.
Yeah.
But because of the circumstances, they can't be citizen.
Yeah.
So if at all comparing these three communities, they have the most right, what? They're born here, they have the blood.
Then why they cannot get it, right?
But people think they are refugees, they are migrants. So, if you give them, everyone is just gonna go. Yeah.
But I feel like because like you say just now, right, these things, right, actually can be prevented. So what are like the most effective ways to prevent this kind of thing from happening?
So the illegitimate one is definitely get married before having a child. It's, I think, unfortunately, that's just how it is in Malaysia. For the adoption one, get lawyers, do it the proper way. I think a lot of times the client comes to us as well. It's after they have gone through these agents, have tried to help them and cheated them, of their money, like 20, 30K, So I think my advice is like seek legal counsel.
But like you said, to go through the proper way, right? Take years, not 1-2 years, but...
No, you can do the proper way through... So adoption, there's two ways. Through JKM and through the court process. So if you know someone
just
who has a child...
Just get the court process is faster.
Yeah, go through the court, 6 months. That's it.
Oh.
So people need to be aware and know this because they think it's so hard, it's looked down upon, it's a stigma. So they try to do the back routes.
Stigma of what?
In Malaysia, don't you realize that growing up, like, oh, they adopted the baby. Oh, it's not their own baby. There's a stigma, They're not even, a lot of my clients also don't even know that they're adopted. Because they are so afraid to tell the child or whatever.
I can understand that you are afraid to tell the child.
Yeah.
But why is that a social stigma? Adopting is actually a very brave thing to do,
You are the woke generation, girl. The past generation is not a proud thing that you have adopted someone. It means you cannot have a kid on your own. That's the stigma.
Yeah, some people cannot have a kid on their own, unfortunately.
But I'm not saying that's right or wrong or whatever, but that it is a stigmatization. That is why there are these other roots.
There are a lot of unfortunate babies that has been abandoned, so who are going to care for them?
Exactly. And these people are doing good things.
Yeah, I agree.
And and it's sad, Yeah.
Okay, so what other than adoption? Don't go through agents.
Yeah, don't buy babies. If you know it's not right, just don't go through
the moment
process.
when you have to buy a baby, that already rings a red flag, And
and also the fact you get a birth cert with your name on it when you know the child is not yours, it's also like wrong already.
And
it's fraud.
yeah, and another question. So that means all these agents will know, right? By the time the child age 12, somehow the parents will know that this is like fraud already, right?
Like I said, if the child looks like you have no problem. And if JPN has not blacklisted that place of birth, but FYI, JPN is on a major lockdown. They've already blacklisted all the clinics, and
So
they are
they are
going
very-
after the families now.
They are very
No,
active in
they are-
this.
yeah.
They are not slacking on this.
No, they are really going all out, because like I've done cases where I've seen in the affidavits my other clients' names. That means they already blacklisted these people to say that these are all the people from this clinic. So you already know, like, oh, your client is part of it already. Yeah.
Oh.
Like my other client in another client's affidavit.
Oh.
The name is there.
Oh.
Because they were all born in the same
place.
So everyone born from that period, they were going on a lockdown to tarik balik all of the birth cert.
So is the place of, so like let's just say like a legit one lah, okay, married already, want to give birth, and then which clinic or hospital you go to is also very crucial then. Right?
But-
if not, suddenly you get blacklisted.
But some of the names of the clinics or the places that these individuals are born are smaller ones. Like people don't really know about. It's not like the big hospitals or whatever. It's not like the well-known ones or government hospitals.
Okay,
It's
can people check? Is it public information? Like we can go and check which clinic has been blacklisted?
I think can. And a way to also find out if like your birth cert has been blacklisted, one of our clients found out through not being able to use the subsidy suddenly. Because they tarik balik your citizenship already. And then you're like, hey, what happened?
But it won't happen after past a certain age, right?
No, this person was like 30 over. And they only then found out they were adopted.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's very real.
Very real, yeah. Okay. So, I think, we're coming to an end to this topic. Question who is a citizen in Malaysia is very, very real.
Yeah.
Very serious.
So please go home and kiss your IC.
Heartbreaking. Oh my gosh. Heartbreaking lah, I would say lah, for people who are going through this.
Yeah.
So, I hope this topic, helps, has brought certain awareness to anyone, especially if you are having this situation, I would say. Again, in Law Unfiltered, we hope to filter down the law so that people can understand it better. And if there is any question, feel free to reach out. Me or mostly Larissa will try to help out the most. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.